صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. روحي وأرواح العالمين لك الفداء يا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة، يا غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء. In the words of Fatima Al-Aleela, I have aged yet so terribly without my father by my side. I was raised but in a shadow. I slept in all the tears I cried. My days were without end or hope, only nights did I abide, for it would reflect my sorrow. Even my tears, they had no guide. I watched you leave our humble home, and by our door waiting I stood, but no one came back to raise me, and my heart never understood. Inna lillahi wa inna raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. Dear brothers and sisters, dear viewers at home, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You are watching Verses of Love live, coming to you live from the city of London, exclusively on Imam Hussein TV 3. Dear respected viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On this show, I am of course joined by either one of my two gems. It's either Al-Hajj Ibrahim Ansari, who we had on yesterday, or it's my dear brother Sayyid Ali Al-Nawab. So first and foremost, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum Sayyidina.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You are the gem.
Habibi Sayyidina.
And we are honored to have you.
Alhamdulillah Sayyidina.
And to be sitting on a show and on a set with you.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sayyidina. And of course, I'm going to welcome our dear guest for tonight, Mullah Ali Al-Zuhairi. Mullah Ali, assalamu alaikum.
Habibi, salam wa rahmatullah, Mullah.
How's everything? Inshallah, all is well.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Very honored to be here.
Alhamdulillah. Allah yasalmak, Mullah. Thank you so much. So, as I mentioned, we have our two guests, and tonight we are remembering, and inshallah, we will delve into this topic further with Sayyid Ali in terms of Fatima Al-Aleela. And I'll ask Sayyid Ali to explain essentially what Al-Aleela means and who this person is. But our topic for today, because Fatima Al-Aleela was left in Medina, she was then considered an orphan because her father went out towards Karbala and didn't come back. And so today's topic, Sayyidina, with your permission, is to talk about, I guess, the orphans. And of course, many people out there, they contribute generously to orphans and widows and those that are less fortunate. But for today's topic and what I'd love to discuss with you is essentially the orphans that we know of and that we see, especially in Iraq, because I go to Iraq, you go to Iraq, Mullah Ali goes to Iraq, and there's orphans that we see. So what is the reality of these orphans in this day and age, Sayyidina?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. The reality of orphans is a very bitter reality, a reality which overcasts the reality of life in Iraq. Yani, you would not fail to find a home that either has an orphan or has an orphan in one of their relatives or friends that they know or their neighbors. Because of the many trials and tribulations that Iraq in the previous history and in the current history is going through, because of the sectarian issues, because of the terrorists, because of the extremists, because of the political climate of the country, because of the greed of the neighboring countries to Iraq and what they see that they can take because of their interests. And the main reason of why we see such a huge number of orphans in Iraq, and especially within the Shia followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhum as-salam, and this has been the case all throughout history. It started with Ahlul Bayt alayhum as-salam, and it continued to cover and to include their followers and their Shia, is the fact that they are the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and they carry the love of Ali ibn Abi Talib in their hearts. And we would not fail to go and research and see that the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen in some parts of Iraq, in Baghdad, in other cities neighboring Baghdad, when they were identified as being Shia, because of being Shia, or because of when they stopped them on the road, when the Shia of Ahlul Bayt were traveling from one location to another, they used to establish these stops and stop the cars, and they used to check the IDs of the Shia of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. They used to see that his name is a Shi'i name, or he is from Karbala, or he's from Najaf.
It's hard to imagine that happens in Iraq, Sayyidina, when it happened.
In the recent history, after the fall of the Ba'athi regime, things turned into a political turmoil. The fact that there was this lack of security and instability in the country, a government still had to be formed. So this caused a bit of havoc in the country. So they stopped them, as we say in Iraqi, al-Hawiyya, on the fact that they had these IDs, and it said that he is from Karbala, he is from Najaf, he is from Nasiriyah, he is from Diwani, he is from Hilla. They used to kill them there and then. And they left these men that they were killed, or these women that they were killed, and became martyrs. They joined the caravan of Abi Abdullah al-Hussain. They left behind these orphans. And until recent history, when there were car bombings or there were suicide bombings, they go into a marketplace. People are busy. In the middle of the day, that criminal goes inside the marketplace and blows himself. He doesn't know who he is blowing up, this lady, this mother, this auntie, this sister. And the casualties that we used to see. This is the fact that Iraq, especially in the northern part of Iraq, there is an orphan or two in every house that has inhabitants who are the Shia of Ahlul Bayt.
So what's now the challenges that the orphans face?
Well, the first challenge is the instability. There is no safety, there is no security, which always threatens the lives of these families, the lives of these orphans. The fact that there is no safety, the fact that there is no security, that means that they can't live. There is no life. if you are afraid to go out of your home, if you are afraid to move out from your street, what kind of a life do you have? There are times that families bid farewell to their husbands and their fathers and their brothers. They don't know that the fact that my brother or my father is leaving them in the morning, if I am going to be able to see him later on this afternoon. Is he going to come back home or not? And there were many cases that the father used to leave to go to work in the afternoon. They would hear there was a car bomb or explosion, and the father is gone shaheed. Khalas.
Yeah. He leaves behind a wife.
He leaves behind a wife, a widow,
kids.
the kids who don't have anyone to look after them. So this challenge, the first challenge is safety and security. With safety and security comes the financial stability as well. If there is no safety and security, people can't work. They can't make a living. They can't eat. They can't provide.
Yeah.
They can't take a piece of bread home. So that's why you see there is lots of poverty. So this is one of the challenges, that these orphans, there isn't a welfare system.
No.
Or if there is what is called a welfare system, it's still not working properly. Not everyone is able to receive that welfare.
Yeah.
So you will see that these orphans, because of they don't have an elder in the family, they have to go out and make a living for the family. That's why when you go to Iraq, when you go to Najaf, when you go to Basra, Nasiriyah, Amara, Diwaniyah, and other places, you will see, go to the marketplace, go to the fruits market, or go to any market, you will see that young children, they are standing, for example, he's got a load of plastic bags. As soon as he sees you enter the marketplace, he comes and sells a plastic bag. He begs you.
Yeah.
He says to Ammu, اشتري من عندي. And there were times that I personally experienced it. I sit down and speak to them. I tell them, أقول لك, أنت شنو اسمك? What is your name? He tells me either Ali, Muhammad, Hassan, Ja'far, Hussein. And then I ask him, where do you live? Where is your family? وين أهلك? أقول له, أنت من كربلاء, أنت من وين? Where are you from? Are you from Karbala? Because I usually go to Karbala. He says, no, I am from, he names me a different city.
Ajib.
And we're talking about a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old. I tell him, what are you doing here? Where's your father? Where's your mother? He tells me, I have come here with my older brother, for example, to work, to make a living, so we can, at the end of the week, we go back to my family and we give my mother what we made.
Because maybe Karbala is a vibrant city full of tourists.
Yeah,
so
because
that's one of the reasons.
Karbala, Najaf, Kadhimiya, these hold sacred burial sites, sacred mausoleums, sacred shrines of honorable imams and infallible individuals who are buried there. So you will tend to see international visitors coming to visit, to be honored by the presence of these luminous individuals buried in these locations. So you will see, so there will be a kind of a movement, a financial movement, حركة يعني, financially. So people come, they flock to these cities so they can make a living. And not only because these are religious cities, there are numerous areas in Iraq, in some of the northern cities, that have poor areas. Very people are living in ruins, literally ruins, because they don't have a shelter. When it rains, the ceiling leaks. And these are orphans. And when we're talking orphans, we mean that the challenge of security and safety, the challenge of finance, which means that they can't go and have a good education, they can't go and learn, because he has to go out and work. If he doesn't go and work, who is going to come and knock on the door and give them the bread or the meat or the fruit or the vegetables that they need to feed themselves? Many of them, you believe me, and you have seen this, and I'm sure Mullah Ali has also witnessed this firsthand, is that many of them sleep the night hungry, Mullah Ali. They sleep the night not having to eat anything. And I have personally seen this, and you have seen this. They stand around these restaurants, or early in the morning, before everyone wakes up, in the darkness of the early morning, you will see them coming in the vicinity of the old city. They go and they start searching in the pile of the garbage. Is this the status of the Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib? So these are some of the challenges.
We'll go back to that, inshallah. I just wanted to turn my attention to Mullah Ali. This is your first time in reciting in London?
Reciting in London, yeah,
Yes.
yes. Yeah.
How's it been so far? I think it's been 3 nights so far.
3 nights, yeah, it's been amazing. It's one night better than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been good, kind of, we say it's a good vibe in the majlis, a very good Hussaini vibe where you can connect with the audience.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. I wanted to ask you actually in terms of Muharram in Dearborn, because I'm not sure if you've grown up most of your life in Dearborn. Personally, I've been to Dearborn in Muharram, and I do feel there's a big Hussaini spirit. You know, there's banners and flags at all the different houses. And tell us about, I guess, the Muharram spirit from how you recognize Dearborn.
So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolute pleasure.
It's an honor to be here. So Dearborn has one of the biggest Shia communities outside of the Middle East, and specifically Dearborn. I grew up in Dearborn. We have there's just so many different centers, mosques, Hussainiyat. Some for the Iraqis, some for the Lebanese, some for the Pakistani brothers. But the ones I grew up around are the Iraqi ones and the Lebanese ones mostly. I've been, my whole life, unfortunately. Yeah. On one street, on Warren Road, and I know if the people of Dearborn are watching right now, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'd say about at least 10 centers on that road.
Just that one road?
10 centers. From different, طبعا the attendees from, مثلا, the first one starts with Markaz Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. And then, man, I'm gonna get so much trouble. Be in so much trouble. And then Jam' Imam Ali, Al-Fayha, Jumhur al-Hussaini, Ashaq al-Hussain, just so many names.
All of these majalis are full, and they're packed.
During Shahr Muharram, there is not a spot for you to even sit. Yeah.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Well, I believe, as we say, London is the Karbala of Europe.
Yeah.
I would assume that Dearborn
is the Karbala of.
is
Probably
the
another.
Karbala of North America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah?
So as well. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
The marches,
Yeah.
especially during this time, the Hussainiyya gets a permit to do Aza Zinjil outside of the Hussainiyya.
Okay.
In the parking lot.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, the car park. I don't know if you guys call it that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we used to get about 300.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, muazzin, yani, they come and do Aza, the Zinjil Aza. During the night, again, everywhere is just packed with muazzin. Yeah.
So tonight, you recited. Where are you reciting this year?
Hussainiyat Rasul al-A'zam, Karbalaiyya.
Fantastic. And tonight you were commemorating Fatima Al-Aleela.
Al-Aleela.
Just, I know that every single year on the third night Muharram, typically the Iraqi majalis, they cover the Fatima Al-Aleela. Year on year, how do you connect with this specific personality?
Sayyid Al-Aleela.
Sayyid Al-Aleela.
طبعا out of the 10 days, say the third night, Sayyid Al-Aleela has always been a special night for me. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. It's just something has to happen that night.
Yeah.
يعني starting with one of the first قصائد, if you don't mind. طبعا.
Yeah, of course.
First قصائد I recited says وينك أريدك انطيني إيدك أنت أبوي الغالي ارجع أرحم حالي. Then the year after, and then one of the qasaid.
Well, if we can have a short explanation of the words you just said, because we
Yeah,
have many of our
no.
viewers.
No problem. Yeah.
They are either English speakers or from Pakistan or from other parts of the world.
Yeah.
These words you just mentioned are very beautiful and very, painful words.
Yeah.
وينك أريدك.
Where are you? I need you.
انطيني.
Give me your hand, right?
Give me your hand.
You are my beloved father. come back.
أبويا الغالي.
ارجع ارحم حالي.
ارجع ارحم حالي.
Yeah.
Have mercy on me.
Have mercy on your
Yeah.
father. Allah, Allah.
That's one of the nights. I remember that night specifically.
And this is in a couple of years ago, or your first ever qasaid?
This is back in Dearborn. This specific qasida is in 2019.
Oh, okay. So it's
1443, I think, right?
Four-
No, 40. No. 14.
We're
probably
41 right now.
41.
Yeah, 41, yeah.
That night it felt just like a ashir.
Wow.
Wallahi al-azim. The words, the qasida, alhamdulillah, the lahan I got blessed with.
Do not be amazed. The same way we mourn Abi Abdullah al-Hussain on the 10th night, Laylat al-Ashir, which is the most difficult, the most painful night. Abi Abdullah al-Hussain is leaving behind a part of his, the same way Fatima al-Zahra was muhajjatu qalb al-Nabi. Then don't hesitate to understand that the night of Aleela, Imam Hussein alayhi salam is leaving behind a piece of his heart. Yani you're mourning the heart of Hussein alayhi salam.
Yeah.
So it should be a painful night.
Well, look, could we get just the mustahil?
Of that?
Yeah, just if you can. Yeah.
Ya Allah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
أريدك انطيني ايدك وينك أريدك انطيني ايدك انت ابويا الغالي ارجع ارحم حالي وينك
Ahsantum. Sayyidina, I go back to you just in terms of the situation of the orphans and what can we do to maybe help? Maybe partner with NGOs, speak to different NGOs. How does it work? What can we do in terms of our responsibility? Because we know that obviously Imam Ali alayhi salam has given massive importance to the orphans, right?
Yeah. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi alayhi, one of the titles that he has is Abu al-Aytami wal-Aram.
Yeah.
The father of the orphans. And earlier on today, in the other show we had, me and you,
Yeah.
we did mention the name of Amir al-Mu'mineen. You can't speak about an orphan without mentioning the name of Ali ibn Abi Talib. One of the things that we can do, because we are not emotionless, we are not one of the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that doesn't have a heart, doesn't have senses, doesn't have intellect. We can see, we can observe. The thing that we see in front of us happening to the orphans could one day happen to our own children. من لم يهتم لأمور المسلمين فليس منهم. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. This is the statements spoken by Rasulullah. Every single one of you will be held responsible. So what is that responsibility? Maybe the brothers and sisters at home would want to know, okay, Sayyid, you speak about orphans. Tell me, I want to do something. I live in the West. Maybe I haven't gone to Karbala, maybe I haven't gone to Najaf, maybe I haven't gone to some of the cities that you talk about that have orphans. I haven't seen, you have seen. Tell me, what can I do? I will tell you, my dear brothers and sisters. You want to help? First of all, we have to come to recognize the level and the intensity of the problem. And then get in touch with those organizations. There are many NGO organizations that serve in Iraq, who also have members, who have organizations, who have committees outside Iraq who are advocating, raising awareness. So one of the things is that I have to be aware of the situation of an orphan. So whether it's in Iraq, whether it's in Afghanistan, whether it's Shia of Ahlul Bayt, whether it's Pakistan, where every single day or every single week we are hearing that the Shia of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in Afghanistan or in Pakistan or in other parts of the world are being killed because they are Shia. But we bring the name of Iraq as an example, our dear brothers and sisters. So raise awareness. When you raise awareness, people become aware, and through that awareness they are able to help. We need help financially. We need help to create this sense of stability for these orphans. Because these orphans, if they don't have someone taking care of them, if they don't have someone providing for them, they will have to think of going to extra lengths, and when they go to extra lengths, they might fall in traps. There might be individuals who will want to take advantage of these youngsters. So we need to provide for them. When we provide for them, I don't mean that we only pay for their food or their water or their shelter. I mean to provide for them, to provide a safe haven for them to go and receive the education, so when they grow up, they can be an asset to the community and society. So you, brother and sister, wherever you are, when you hear about an organization who is working for orphans or has an orphanage in any part of the world, go. Make the first step. Take the first step towards them. Ask them, what is your work and how can I help and support?
Yeah.
Because there are many narrations, many statements by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, أَنَا وَكَافِلُ الْيَتِيمِ كَهَاتَيْنِ. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam says, anyone that sponsors an orphan will be with me, and he gestures with his two fingers, كَهَاتَيْنِ فِي الْجَنَّةِ, he will be with me, he will be alongside me, he will reside in the same location as Rasulullah.
Absolutely.
So we need to start fostering, we need to start sponsoring, we need to start being the father figure that these orphans don't have. We need to be the caring mother for those orphans that have lost their mothers and their relatives. So this is the simplest thing that we can do. And alhamdulillah, we have the social media and the internet and the search engines. Just search up orphans, wherever, which country, which city you are interested in, and you will get a whole load of these organizations that will be able to provide help and support.
Ahsantum Sayyidina. On that note, we're going to take a very, very small break, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers at home, because when we return, we'll be talking and discussing the masa'ib of Fatima Al-Aleela. So inshallah, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, dear viewers of Imam Hussein TV 3. We are coming to you live from London, and you are watching Verses of Love. There is a Verses of Love mini Husseini or young Husseini edition that is earlier today, where alhamdulillah we are joined by 3 of the Shia Voice stars, the young stars, and alhamdulillah today we are honored to be joined by, first and foremost, Sayyid Ali Al-Nawab, who is my special guest every single day, or every other day, Verses of Love. But we are joined by Mullah Ali Zuhairi as well, coming all the way from Dearborn. Of course, Mullah Ali, I see you now in a different context, because every single time I did see you, it was more of a competition. But alhamdulillah, I get to speak to you now more of as a friend, as a brother, and we gained very valuable lessons in terms of Dearborn and what the situation is in Dearborn. But Sayyid Ali did speak about at length the situation of orphans, and we talked about what we can do and what responsibilities we have towards these orphans, and how we can inshallah contribute, whether it's financially or word of mouth, or being able to foster, or being able to look after an orphan in order to help those that are less fortunate than us. But the reason why we're talking about orphans is because Imam Hussein alayhi salam left a young child in Medina. He took his women and his children. So I'm not going to get into the kind of the historical details, Sayyidina. I'd love to ask you, what was the situation for Imam Hussein alayhi salam when leaving Medina?
Ya Allah. We, before break, we talked about how one of the challenges that faces the orphans today is the fact that there is no safety and security. That very challenge was the challenge that Abi Abdullah al-Hussain was facing in his own homeland, in his own hometown. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, brothers and sisters, he is a Medinite. He was born in Medina. It's awfully heartbreaking when someone is born in a city and eventually he reaches a stage that he cannot continue living in his own hometown because of the lack of safety and security. Abi Abdullah al-Hussain reached a stage that it was unsafe for him to remain in the city of Medina. So that's why it was time for Abi Abdullah al-Hussain to start making his way towards his final destination.
Right.
So hence, when someone is planning to travel, and this time Abi Abdullah al-Hussain salamullahi alayhi, when he was moving from Medina, he couldn't leave his family behind because the enemies, Bani Umayyah, would have taken his family as hostages. The fact that they took his family, his sisters, his daughters as captives and hostages from Karbala, they would have done the same thing but in Medina. And it's not the first time, Mullah Ali Zairi, that this has happened in the city of Medina. Abi Abdullah al-Hussain would only need to remember what they done to his mother Fatima Al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. This lady, this honorable figure, this honorable youngster that we are commemorating tonight by the name of Fatima, and everyone knows how much dear that name is to the heart of Abi Abdullah al-Hussain salamullahi alayhi. It's enough for you to just say Fatima, and you would see Abi Abdullah al-Hussain sit down and remember. One of the things that al-Banin, I'm sorry I'm reading this musibah, but one of the things that al-Banin on the first day of her marriage came and said to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Ali, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, I cannot bear to see the fact that young Hassan, young Hussein, Zainab, Kulthum, every time you tend to call me Fatima, they start crying. Fatima, al-Banin, what do you want? Tell me. He told her, Ya Ali, do not call me Fatima anymore. So Fatima is very dear to the hearts of Hussein and Hassan. Hence, he called his daughter Fatima. Fatima, this youngster, brothers and sisters, I want to take you towards Medina. Dim the lights if you can at home. Create this environment. I want to take you tonight to the house of Abi Abdullah al-Hussain salamullahi alayhi. Let's go to Medina. Huh? I am sorry if you have a youngster sitting at home next to you, especially if her name is Fatima. Let her remember what happened to Fatima Al-Aleela. Fatima Al-Aleela says, I saw that my auntie Zainab is sitting gathered around my sisters Ruqayya, Fatima Al-Kubra, Layla, Rabab, Ramle. They're all sitting, they're talking between themselves, but I don't understand, I can't hear what they're talking. So I stood up, I started making my way. I wanted to participate, I want to hear. It's my auntie Zainab talking. But I realized that every time I draw closer to them, they go quiet. 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. Fatima Al-Aleela starts feeling that there is something wrong. What made it worse is that she noticed that her sisters, the women of the family, are all going to their rooms, to their quarters. They are preparing their belongings as if they are going away. Lady Zainab is saying to Ruqayya, Ruqayya, do not forget to take your prayer mat, do not to take your hijab, do not forget to take your hijab, do not forget to take your veil, take an extra veil. But I was waiting for my auntie Zainab to come and tell me, Fatima, you as well go and prepare yourself. Lady Zainab says, every time I see Aleela in front of me, I look at her, she looks at me, but I can't say anything. Brothers and sisters, this Aleela waits. She says, okay, maybe my auntie Zainab is busy. Let me go to my quarters, and I start preparing my things. It is narrated, brothers and sisters, that Fatima Al-Aleela comes to her corner of the room. She starts speaking to herself. She starts packing her belongings. She says, shall I pack my stuff? But my auntie Zainab hasn't said anything. So she unpacks and she puts it to the side again. Again, she says, no, but they're going to leave. I want to go with them. So she starts packing again. But she says, no, but my uncle Abbas didn't say anything to me. So she starts unpacking. Until Lady Zainab comes to Abi Abdullah al-Hussain, says, Akhwiya Abu Ali, brother, this daughter of yours, Fatima, is breaking my heart. It's as if I think she has sensed that she is not going to be accompanying us in this travel. Until everyone was ready. Everyone started coming, taking their positions on top of their rides, on top of their camels. It is Fatima Al-Aleela Salamullahi alayha, as if she's saying,
ويلي 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 بعد ساعة ويشيلون بضعنهم بعد ساعة يشيلون بضعنهم ويجن غريبة ومالي منهم جنهم كلهم يشيلون جنهم وبعيني يظل موحش نزلهم وظل انشد الرايح والجاي عنهم. Lady Fatima Al-Aleela is saying, speaking to herself, and she's saying that I think they are going to leave me behind. It is in these moments that Abi Abdullah comes, takes Fatima Al-Aleela. Fatima says, oh father, shall I go and prepare my things? Am I going to accompany you? Abi Abdullah says, Fatima, my lovely daughter Fatima, you are ill, and this safar, this trip is not good for your health. I am going to leave you behind. You are going to stay, some narrations say with Salama, the other narrations say with al-Banin. You are going to stay, inshallah. When you become better, I will send to you your uncle Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas or your brother Ali al-Akbar, and they will bring you. You will accompany them. Here Fatima couldn't say anything. She loved her father. She respected the words of her father. It's as if she says, Ya boya مودع الله وراشد النية بس خلي على بالك شنو بس خلي على بالك عندك بنية عليلة وتنتظر منك بعد جاية. Days went sent. Abi Abdullah left. They reached Karbala on the 10th of Ashura. أجرك الله يا صاحب الزمان. When everyone went to the battlefield, Abi Abdullah stood there by himself. When he started saying, ألا من ناصر ينصرنا, it is then that the narrations narrate a messenger came towards Abi Abdullah carrying a letter from Fatima Al-Aleela. He told him, where are you from? He said, I am from Medina. There was a young girl. She said, where are you going? I told her I am going towards Iraq. She wrote a letter and she gave this letter to me. And she said, this is for my father, Abi Abdullah. On the afternoon of Ashura, Abi Abdullah receives a letter. As soon as he opens the letter, he sees the handwriting of Aleela. He starts crying. Lady Zainab sees Imam Hussein in his final moments crying. She comes to him. She says to him, Akhi Aba Abdullah, why do I see you crying? Abi Abdullah is as if he's saying to her, this is a letter from Fatima Al-Aleela. What is she saying, oh brother? I will say these lines and inshallah we will benefit from the presence of my beloved dear brother Mullah Ali. Fatima saying, Boya عادت الأهل إن كان بسفر يبطون لو مكتوب لو طارش يودون. Oh father, it's been a long time. I am still waiting. She used to come out every day from the morning until night looking towards Iraq, waiting for Ali al-Akbar or Aba al-Fadl. وأنا على باب وأنا على الباب أبرل يعودون ورشعة الباب بماي العيون. وقول اليوم لا بشر يعودون بالله شلون لا ما عادوا شلون.
حسين يا أبويا يا أبويا حسين يا أبويا وجوهكم لطيف ماتن ماتن أتاني لو أأيس بعد ماتن ما أنتظر ماتن يا طارش يا طارش قل أبويا عضاي ماتن بويا ماتن حسين ماتن نحل عظمي وشحيح الشوف بيه عفتني وجمرة فراقك تصل بقلبي ولا طوارشكم تصل لحسين كأنما تركتني للمرض والبكاء بتا حسين بنيتك من جلوس امست تصلي 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 يا ابويا مروتك لحيك محمل خالي شفته قبالي قابلته وسولفنا هوايه وريتك باكر بيا سافر وعباس يغطيك برايه يا هودة جمنياتي كون ارحل وي خواتي كون ارحل عيدكم سفر باكر انا ليلي لحظة ما نمت بالظلمة طلعت وحدي ومحمل وحدا شفته انا ابكي وسولفت وياه وقيت للأمنية انت وين الله وابويا حسين ياخذني ويا قافلته ها يا محمل ما اتحمل باكر لو وحدي يعيفوني مر مصابي وكل احبابي شوفتهم تشتاقي عيوني نوح يصبح اوضح صفاتي كون ارحل وي خواتي كون ارحل وي خواتي
كون ارحل وي خواتي
المحمل يحكي بالسكتة انا عذريني يا علوية خيامكم من يحرقوها يندار الجمهور بي حسينك يهوى بجسمه جروح 1900 وكل حرمه تشوف فيها باكر تمشي مسبية حتى اللي يرضع لا ما يرجع نبلة تصيبه وتقطع نحره حسين الغالي يطيح قبالي وعشر خيولي تدوسي بصدره يصيح لحد يضرب بناتي كون ارحل وي خواتي كون ارحل وي خواتي.
احسنتم. طيب
من
الله.
الشاعر هو از ذا بويت
شاعرها كرار حسين الكربلائي.
ما شاء الله. طيب الله انفاسك وانفاسك.
اسمعك يا حبيبي.
Ahsantum. Dear Mullah Ali Zuhairi is always fantastic to hear you live and now hear you here as well. Sayyid, of course, once again, thank you so much for your valuable time.
May Allah bless you both, inshallah.
Ahsantum jami'an. And to the dear viewers at home, just a I guess, a summary in the sense that, yes, we do have a responsibility. Of course, we do cry and lament for what happened on the day of Ashura. We cry and lament and we connect to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But we do have a responsibility, because at the end of the day, there are a couple of ways that we connect to Imam Hussein, especially when he says, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum, or when he says, Hal min nasirin yansuruna, is there anyone out there to help us? It's not just a plea for us to say, yes, I am here about Abdullah al-Hussein, and to connect through our tears and through our emotions, but it's also to be active. When we say, yes, we are here, we are proactively answering the call of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, in the sense that, yes, we have an obligation. As Shia Muslims, we have obligation to the Prophet, to Imam Ali alayhi salam, in order to look after the orphans. So even if you are living in the West, far away from those orphans in Iraq or neighboring countries, we do have a responsibility to either spread the message or contribute financially to be able to help these orphans, because there are orphans that we connect with, especially when it comes to Ashura. And we've commemorated Fatima Al-Aleela, who was left an orphan in Medina, and you heard how sorrowful and how sad her story is, and especially parts where the Sayyid mentioned where the confusion in her mind, Fatima Al-Aleela, the confusion that goes through her head, that no one is being clear with her, that they had to leave her. That for me was quite heartbreaking to hear the story of Fatima.
Mullah Ali, if I can just add one other thing. I'm sure definitely that the viewers at home, the brothers and sisters watching us, they must have a haja. They must have a want, they must have a need, they must have someone who is in need, they must have someone who is ill. This honorable lady, there are individuals in the family of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, they have been granted the title of the gate of Hajat, Babul Hawaj. Allahu Akbar, this lady Fatima Al-Aleela, for the extent of pain and sorrow that she had to go through. Imam al-Hussein, he was around her, and Imam al-Hussein felt this sense of this unsafe environment. So what happens if Imam al-Hussein had gone and she was left all alone in the darkness of the house? So imagine the sorrow and the pain. What I'm trying to get at is that tonight, if your heart was broken and you shed a tear as a result of the recitations and the poetry, and you felt this connection, knock on the door of Fatima Al-Aleela. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the pain and sorrow of Fatima Al-Aleela, everyone that hears my voice and has a hajj tonight, as we commemorate Fatima Al-Aleela, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say to him, to Allah, oh Allah, I beseech you with the name and the dhikr of Fatima Al-Aleela, answer my calls and answer my prayers.
Ahsantum Sayyidina, Ahsantum Mullah Ali. Thank you so much for your time, both of you, Sayyidina and Mullah Ali. And on that note, inshallah, we will see you in the next episodes of Verses of Love, 11:30 p.m. UK time, live from London. Inshallah, we'll see you soon. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.